again. What a fool I was to think I could get by with only these few million tears I've cried. I should have known the worst was yet to come, and that crying time for me had just begun. Today I started loving you again. I'm right back where I've really always been. I got over you just long enough to let my heartache mend. And then today I started loving you again. Yesterday I started loving you again.
Good. Lightnin, Charlie, I'll give you a hand on that.
Yeah,
One of my favorite people, folks, here today on Bristol's Front Porch on B10. Lightnin, Charlie.
great to be here.
Is there a song that you don't know?
It hadn't been written yet, I don't think.
I tell you.
You know what it is? It's, you know, and you're always so kind to always, you know, say that about my repertoire being. But when I'm taking requests from an audience, for example, you can always stump me by asking for any song that's written, you know, after 1975 or so.
Yeah.
You know, so you can stump me with anything, you know.
You're right in line with the baby boomers. Is
That's
what
right.
You're trying to say.
When we pulled out of Vietnam, I pulled my radio out the wall, pretty much. Not that the two had anything to do with one another, just that kind of that time is, you know, anything like, you know, before, you know, the 70s, all the great, you know, 50s country music, rock and roll music, and 60s soul music and old blues and stuff is kind of my, you know, my bag.
Now you live over in Johnson City, Tennessee.
I do.
And tell the folks where you're originally from and what brought you to this area and what your attraction to this music was.
Well, my family, my mother's family is all from East Tennessee. They lived in Greenville and Bristol, and my mother went south to Florida, to Miami, Florida for work in the 50s, like 58. And my grandmother, who was here with the other, my mother's 6 siblings, packed up everybody and moved down there after her because my grandmother couldn't stand to have one of her chicks that far from the nest. And so it was kind of like loaded up the car and they moved to Miami, you know.
Yeah.
And so I was raised in Miami, Florida, but by an East Tennessee family. So when I graduated high school and it was time to come to go away to college, I was obsessed. I mean, literally obsessed, or I would say convicted by the Holy Spirit to go to East Tennessee. That's all I thought about, and so that's how I ended up moving up here, and I've lived here ever since. That was in 1979.
And we're glad you're here.
I graduated early. I was 4 years old when I moved here, so you know, I kind of was on the fast track through high school.
Well, you've played on the ACMA's Peak and Porch over the years. You've done Song of the Mountains, a show that I host up in Marion, Virginia at the Lincoln Theater. You do things like play at nursing homes.
About 250 shows a year just for seniors and vets, yes.
Wow, I know you brighten a lot of people's lives with your music.
They do mine. You know, I mean, that's one of those things, Tim, that's, you know, you can't outgive God. I go in there with the, you know, with the idea, you know, to play music. I'm there, I'm hired to go in there and uplift people, but they uplift me.
That's great.
They're wonderful.
On that note, do you have a website?
I do. It's lightnincharlie.com. For those of y'all that not wanting a spelling bee lately. It's lightninCharlie.com.
So information on my friend Lightnin Charlie here, go to his website. And thank you for coming by and being on the show. Let's pick another one here. By the way, Teddy Helton, folks, once again on the upright bass back here. You want to say anything, Teddy? Got anything you'd like to say? No. Okay.
I thought I heard him whispering in my ear there during the
I think he was just breathing.
Was it just breathing hard?
What would you like to do? Let's do another.
What do you think about doing rocking up a Bill Monroe thing?
That way, is that in the key of A?
You want to do it in A, high lonesome?
Yeah, we can do that. We don't ever rehearse these things, folks. Just when we get here at the Bristol's front porch, we just see what's happening.
And we just grab a guitar and a bass and banjo in one of these cases.
And Teddy's our musical instructor.
I didn't realize that. He says a lot with just a few words, don't he? Less is more.
Don't make him mad. Don't make him mad. I can tell you that.
Still waters and all of that stuff, right?
Listen to it. Monroe, Bill Monroe team.
Tonight I'm alone without you, my dear. It seems there's a longing for you still. But I just keep it there, so I won't be alone in our little cabin on the hill. Will someone else take it from me and left me here all alone to listen to the rain beat on my window pane in our little cabin on the hill. Take some of that. Oh, someone has taken it from me. Oh, and left me here all alone to listen to the rain beat on my window pane in our little cabin on the hill. In our little cabin on the hill.
You hit all those notes on that guitar neck, don't you?
Well, I think there's a couple that I missed there. I'll have to get those on the next one.
Now, usually when you perform, your beautiful wife is with you. Tell the folks about your wife and what y'all do.
My wife Beth, we record together and do a lot of shows as a duo. We sing in churches and travel a bit and do theaters and things like appeared on Song of the Mountains and going to work with your wife, in my case, is quite a blessing. You're grinning like I'm getting ready to say something.
You better be careful.
No, marriage for me has been a wonderful institution if you're in favor of living in an institution. But she's a wonderful singer. She grew up in a bluegrass family. Her granddaddy, that we just celebrated a reunion with up in Honeacre, Virginia this weekend, was with the Lonesome Pine Fiddlers. And still sings great, plays great, and her brother Joe is a mandolin player and guitar player. He's played with Larry Sparks and Melvin Goins and lots of different people. And so she grew up just everybody singing harmony, and she'd be the little girl who had to pick out the part that was left. So she's developed a great ear for harmony. It's kind of like the kid that in a big family, the one smallest kid gets used to eating the chicken wings and the backs and all the parts that's left over. Ain't that right, Ted?
You want to say anything about your wife, Teddy? I didn't think so. Now, y'all travel around. Now, we talked about the nursing homes. You did Song of the Mountains, but you you put on your own concert at least once a year.
We do. We'll do a theater. We'll usually we've done New Year's Eve the last few years, or we'll rent the Paramount for a night. I still have a band, that we do, selected shows. We don't play that much anymore, where we do a mix of, rhythm and blues and soul music, rock and roll music, so it really runs the gamut. My repertoire seems to cover a lot of different genres of music, but there's only two kinds of music, good and bad. You know,
Yeah,
I
that's true.
I love good music.
I've heard both, haven't you?
Mixture. Some guys play a mixture of both, don't they?
I tell you, thank you for coming by on Bristol's Front Porch. Will you come back sometime?
Love to anytime, and thank you, Tim, for all you do for music and the musicians who play it. You know.
Well, we're all in it together, and you know, everybody plays a part, folks. You know, you have musicians like Lightnin, Charlie, and Teddy, and myself, but you need people to listen. You need people that like to clog and dance.
We'd look
you need
pretty
fans
silly
of the
without
music,
them.
and please support the music here in
Yes.
Bristol, Tennessee, Virginia, the birthplace of country music and the surrounding region. Why don't we do this, Charlie? Why don't you do one by yourself? Do one song, one of your favorites, and Teddy and I'll step aside.
Well, I'd be honored, buddy. Thank you. You left me this morning, couldn't take anymore. You laughed and you dared me to walk out the door. You said that I'd come back. You knew what I'd do. Well, you know you were right, 'cause I'm back here tonight, begging to you. I won't disappoint you, I'm begging to stay. That's what you wanted to hear anyway. It must make you happy to make me so blue. What a pitiful sight I must be tonight, begging to you. You don't want my loving, but you let me hang around. How, I guess, for you to walk on, so you don't touch the ground. To you, it don't matter what you cause me to do, as long as you keep me begging to you.
Lightnin' Charlie wrapping it up for this version, this episode of Bristol's Front Porch. I'm Tim White. Thank you for tuning in. Good stuff.